All right, welcome to Florida's Drinking Report. I'm your captain, Dave Bushea, joined again by my co-captain, Brian Tonnessen.
Heyo.
And our skipper, I'm sorry, first mate.
As the ninth time she got a different title.
I know, I'm
It's
sorry.
every time.
Emily Hayhurst.
Oh, perfect.
I'm Emily, and that's it.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
And we're joined today by our special guest, Donna Qvarnstrom.
Yeah.
Donna, thanks for being on today.
Absolutely. Nice to be here.
No, thanks for coming on. We're coming to you live from Little Jim's, which
Yes.
is one of Donna's locations between Little Jim's and Cobb's Landing.
It's two of our favorite places to just
Literally.
go ham at happy hour.
I love it.
They're
And
amazing.
I made a comment before the pod started that this is the least amount of beer I've had, and then Emily talked me into one of these. So and now I feel normal. Yeah.
Can't help it.
Yeah.
You can't not come on here, and especially at Little Jim's, and not have a light tackle.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Absolutely.
sticking in turn with the drinking report, we're all drinking light tackle.
Yeah.
Which Little Jim's and Donna
Cheers.
was very nice enough to carry
Cheers.
for us.
That's awesome. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, cheers.
Hey, beers before noon, friends.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody has to know what time
Turning
it
that
is.
into the Cove beer. Little Jim's beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're coming to you guys from a very historic location today, Little Jim's. You guys just celebrated 80 years, Donna?
We did, yeah, in June. 80 years. Hard to believe.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you kind of spearheaded the historic designation for Little
Yes.
Jim's, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
we
and you guys
did.
got that this year or like last year?
Yep, no, this year,
Okay.
I believe is in July, they finally voted to make Little Jim historical, which is huge for everybody
and
because
honestly,
that means...
long time coming, too, because, I mean...
Yeah,
the
10
history
years
here.
from now, we're going to repeat this and we'll still be here.
That's
no,
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the history is, 80 years, most people may not know this, but this used to be the guardhouse checkpoints as you crossed the bridge for the Navy at the time.
Yes.
When they were training on the beach.
Yeah, for World War II.
World War II. So they were
Yeah.
using, at the time, it was the, the Special Demolitions Units of the Navy?
Yeah, they were known as the Frogmen back then.
Frogmen, yes,
Yeah.
which is now the Navy SEALs.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
so and we actually have the Navy SEAL Museum right down the street. But you guys just did the event with them a few weeks ago,
the
right?
muster, yeah.
Yeah, muster, yeah.
Yeah, really amazing. If you haven't been there, go check that out.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's an amazing
It
amazing
is.
event. So yeah,
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, and just the history here, and this is a great spot. People, veterans, retired people from the Navy, military service come here. It's just their watering hole, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of history, a lot of stories.
Oh, the stories are incredible.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah. Yeah, muster weekend. I mean, there's a bunch of badass people here.
That's awesome.
And their stories are incredible.
Yeah, and your 80th anniversary party was amazing. With stage
Yeah.
shit up there,
Pretty
and
fun.
yeah, it was a good time. Great
Yeah.
turnout for it as well. So tell us. So you've been a restaurateur in Fort Pierce for a good while.
Yes.
Tell us about your history in Fort Pierce, how you started. Obviously, you've had Cobb's for a long time. You've had Little Jim's for a couple of years now, and hopefully more to come with that as well. So
Yeah, so I've been in this business pretty much my whole life. I moved to Fort Pierce in 2000, and I still had a business in Boynton.
okay,
And I slowly made the transition to be here. And the first restaurant I went to work at, because I didn't know what I wanted to do, was the Tiki Bar.
okay,
So I met Colin and Ian Lloyd. That was right after the hurricanes in '04. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, started for them in '05 and just kind of continued on. We opened Cobb's Landing, Blue Water Beach Grill, and then obviously the demise of Tiki Bar didn't go
Rest
so
in peace,
well.
yeah.
Yes.
I still hear stories of that place.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
one of the first spots that carried our beer. There was a few spots
Yeah.
that when we first opened our doors. We
Yep.
distributed a little bit, and Cobb's, Tiki. There were a few first few that carried our beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then once the Tiki thing happened, I went, well, shoot, what am I gonna do? So this opportunity came up with Little Jim, and obviously that worked out pretty well. So here we are. We took it and kind of call it Tiki 2.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to describe it.
It's
Yeah.
also my local watering hole.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, you took it over from some great people, Rich and Rita. And
Richard and Rita are amazing.
yeah,
I
good,
mean,
great
amazing
people. Their boat's still there.
They're
still
here all the time.
Yep.
Hung out with them Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to being on their boat for the boat parade.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
that.
it's
That's
gonna
gonna
be
be a
fun.
lot of fun.
No, it's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, they do a great job.
That's what I've heard. So I'm
Yeah.
really interested to see what this actually looks like.
Oh yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah.
Pirates.
Pirate theme.
Pirate theme this year.
Nice.
Yes, I mean, this spot has just become, you talk about Fort Pierce. how important, how supportive the community is. I mean, you are kind of one of the linchpins to really kind of keep that motivation going, especially for the business owners in downtown, and the catalyst for just spearheading a lot of things that we do together and bringing downtown together as well too.
Yeah, which is amazing because I love our downtown.
Oh, it's amazing.
I mean, we all work together. We don't, there is no animosity. It's, it's a team effort. I mean, Fort Pierce has so much to offer. I mean, we have the greatest brewery downtown, and you walk across the street to Cobb's, you get a bistro.
No disagreements there.
You definitely, it's a great town.
And everyone supports each other.
Yeah, they do, which is the way it should be.
Yeah.
And I'm always so blown away how kind everyone is, too.
Yes.
Because in some of those, street events, you're looking at a couple thousand people.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's peaceful and fun and laughing. I'm like, you love it. You love to be there and be a part of it.
Yeah, you don't have issues. I said our birthday weekend here, I mean, there was so many people and nothing. I mean, it was just fun, cohesive.
No one has all ulterior motive. It's just go out and have a good time.
Yeah, that's all it should be.
Yeah, it's really refreshing because it's, having, born and raised in Florida, in South Florida, and then kind of watching everything kind of moves north.
Oh, yeah.
And we all know how that works.
Yeah.
And this is kind of, I will always say, this area and up to the Melbourne area is the last piece of Florida that's real still Florida.
I feel like we're in a bubble.
We are,
Yeah.
fair, yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I feel like Jupiter used to be a part of that.
Used to?
Yeah. Yeah, they've kind of morphed out of that a little bit.
Have. It's definitely...
They grew up.
Yeah.
Did they?
It's I'd definitely rather be up here now, which is kind of crazy to say.
Well, grow up's an interesting term because I think I feel like Fort Pierce is more mature. We've matured the right way. If that makes any sense.
They stopped going back to high school after they graduated Fort Pierce.
Hey, they stopped going to the high school parties after they graduated.
That's exactly right.
Or maybe the Northerners haven't figured it out yet.
I don't know. It's
don't
if we get
say anything.
The people we have coming down to this area are some of the best. I think like-minded people congregate together, and I think we really pull in some of the best from around the country and around the world to come to this area because it's really
totally agree.
Either you get along, you fit in, or you don't. You realize that pretty damn quick in this area. So yeah,
so true.
We'll help you realize that very quickly as well.
You can't sit with us.
It's I'm sorry, that seat is taken.
Forever.
Yes, I mean, what a gorgeous location. I mean, Little Jim's. I mean, if people don't know about this spot, I mean, I don't. You don't know what you're missing. I mean, we're right on the water right now. Especially coming into the winter months now. I mean, it's just
it's like
gorgeous
perfect
out here.
Yeah.
I mean, we were over here Saturday night, nice breeze, and there's just
Had
it's
a
amazing.
fat fish sandwich.
With a fat beer. No, you didn't have a fat beer. I had a fat beer.
Fat summer girl.
There you go. No, this is one of the best spots to just sit and chill, and live music and just all sorts of stuff. Good company, boiled peanuts. Are you kidding me?
The pimento.
Yeah.
Everything on the menu at both Cobb's and here. I'm like, you can never, ever, ever go wrong. Everything is so good.
My absolute favorite is when we go on Dave's boat for like a little adventure, a fishing thing. It's not, do we want to go to Little Jim's? It's, what time are we going to Little Jim's?
Yeah.
that's always, it's like, what time do we want to get there?
I weave that into like when we take our wholesalers out or our partners out. It's like, okay, no matter what, we're stopping here for either late lunch or early dinner.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, like you said, it's one of the last places that's old Florida.
Yeah.
You don't get this.
No, you really don't.
Yeah.
It's like taking a step back into, grew up in South Florida and like the Card Sound area. It reminds me a lot of that, like the Upper Keys,
absolutely.
like Key Largo, like what that used to
Alabama
be.
Jacks.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
that's honestly a great example. Alabama Jacks is a good comparison there with that. So
I think we've even graduated from taking pub subs out when we all go out. It's
it's Little
we're
Jim
just going
subs
here.
now.
That's a real growing up, by the way.
That's growing up, actually. No, I
That's
don't
not like
want
Jupiter growing up.
So, Donna, having been involved in downtown Fort Pierce since the early 2000s, what have you seen good and bad happen? Like being a restaurateur, what are some of the good things that have happened in downtown? I guess.
Well, I mean, I think the good thing is there's more restaurants.
There is, yeah.
competition is the best thing for all of us because it brings people to the area. So I definitely see an influx of people in the culture. We have a great culture. We're very artistic. We're very musical.
Oh, yes.
Music is a big part of Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
We do live music here 7 days a week. Same with Cobb's. Because it's so important.
Yeah, I come here now to scout our next music we're going to hire because it's like these groups all kind of like can really operate amongst about 6 restaurants in downtown between
absolutely.
Here, Cobb's, our place, 2nd Street. They have some places to go.
Yeah. No, I definitely see a big change. When I moved here, it was kind of like, oh boy, where am I?
Right.
And what have I done? And why am I
Especially
here?
from Boynton Beach, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like busy South Florida to dead Fort Pierce, but that's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we are just,
More than half the population of Boynton Beach leaves for about more than half the year.
Yes.
Yeah, and when they're in town,
Oh yeah.
It's like Naples gets the people from Pennsylvania. And West Palm, we get, the Northeast. Boynton Beach gets them all. We get Canada. We get, we don't see leaves changing in Boynton. We see the Quebec license plates come. And that's how I know that we're in fall and in season.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's crazy how transient Florida is. And just within like a 30-mile radius from Boynton to Jupiter, that's 2 different people that are coming in, and then from Jupiter to here.
From Lake Worth to Boynton Beach, it's like 2 different places.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting enough, though, a lot of like Miami is coming up this way.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot more of that.
A lot. I've met a lot of people who, they came up post-COVID or during COVID and went, wow, this is nice. And
quiet.
We want to.
Yeah, one of the good things.
We want to do roots
Wait
here.
a minute, peace, quiet, and great bars.
Yeah,
Why would I go back?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I think that was good that came out of COVID is the amount of people from Dade County, Fort Lauderdale, Broward that came up to this area and spent some time here.
Yes.
Because you can't come up for a day, you have to spend a week here, 2 weeks, and they spent that time because they had the time off.
Right.
And they just fell in love with the area, and it's really been nice to expose people to that, and I think the right people as well too, which has been nice.
Oh yeah, and again, I said the culture. Our culture in Fort Pierce has changed.
Oh yeah.
You have a lot of young business owners like you guys and myself, and I think that breeds that cultural change that we all need and crave. Vero, I used to live in Vero briefly and would go there, and Vero's great, but I don't see it having that vibe and culture that Fort Pierce does.
It doesn't have the identity.
Yeah.
That beyond the seasonality that it has there. I mean, it's really not a lot of identity to it. And Fort Pierce definitely has its own identity and its own it's the hardest thing to do is develop a culture and also maintain that culture.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the time here developing it and also maintaining it and actually improving it or moving it in a direction that makes sense with evolution of younger people coming in the area and just trying to keep that vibrance alive has been nice.
I think people are proud too to say it, that they live here, they're from here, what have you, and I think that pride in your community only makes the culture better.
Well, and also the Dodgers didn't leave Fort Pierce in the middle of the night. Vero Beach really tied them. I mean, they called themselves Dodger Town, for crying out loud. Yeah.
Vero?
Oh yeah, they were the spring training home of the Brooklyn Dodgers.
I didn't know that.
And then at one point they just said, "No, screw you guys, we're going to California," and that was that. Yeah.
Because they spent time in Vero?
Well, no, not because they spent time in Vero, but Vero Beach built their whole economy around the Dodgers. And then the Dodgers is like, nah.
Oh, okay, got you.
We're out. Another reason to not like them. Not because my team lost in the World Series while I was at the damn stadium.
Yeah, you were at Game 5.
I was at Game 5 of the World Series. It was the best 5 innings of baseball until it wasn't.
I was watching it, and knowing that you were there the whole time, I was just like, oh, every time something would go, like, just not in the Yankees' favor, if you will, I was just like, oh, poor Tonnessen.
Really,
I hope he's having a hot dog.
I had several hot dogs.
I hope he's having a beer and a hot dog for that moment.
It was the most fun I've ever had at a stadium experience. It was legit electric. It's like it's such a rare thing to actually go to a World Series game, but there's only one bad inning of baseball, and it happened to be like at the height of the electricity. They scored 5 unearned runs. It was unreal. It never happens, and I was there to see it. So nothing could break my heart.
Yeah, that had to be pretty epic.
Oh, it was. Yeah. It was a 27-hour trip, and it felt like I was there for a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was texting you, and I was like, "Did you see that?
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
you
it was
believe
right-
that call?"
The first
He didn't text me back.
the home runs were 3 feet from me. Like in the first inning, like I looked like we were right there, like up against like right field wall. And from me to Dave was the first home run, and then from me to that Pelican was the second home run.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Yeah, so anyway, Vero Beach tied yourself to the Dodgers. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that.
But going back to Fort Pierce, the sense of ownership people have here is so great as well too. I mean, in the almost defensive ownership of like,
Oh, yeah.
we this is our stuff.
Yes.
Don't mess with our stuff.
Absolutely.
And I contributed that to open up a brewery in Fort Pierce.
Yeah.
12 years ago, and at that time, the Treasure Coast craft beer was still somewhat scary, avoidable. No one wanted to really try it.
Yeah.
And how much the area embraced us and were proud of us and stuck with us as our beer got better over years. And White Marlin was that kind of, I always say, that gateway drug to craft beer in the Treasure Coast, and that was what kind of launched people into drinking it. And the support we have by the local businesses to embrace us further, have us on draft, and continue to have us on draft and support what we're doing. And to the point, I mean, you guys obviously are one of the best partners we have, Donna, with you do the shit show beer with you guys, which is the nickname of Little Jim's.
Love it.
Yeah, and then
Why
the
is Little
commemorative-
Jim's a shit show, if you will?
Well,
How they get the nickname?
how it got the name. So, I always say, if you ever came on a Sunday, So our staff pre-shift, as you say, on Sunday would always be like, okay, are we ready for the shit show today? That was always the employees, and we're like, okay, here it comes. So, kind of stuck, and I went, I'm gonna do something with that.
I'm so grateful that we were able to put that on a beer label.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Never mind.
it's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's a welcome to the shit show. And and explaining that to our wholesalers is always funny. Like they're like, I think we're down to 10 cases of the shit show. What is that?
It's always great to get the text from Mike, who runs the place here for Donna. We're out of the shit show. All right, cool, man. We'll get you some more shit show.
We have the shit show.
And I
Bring it
did.
to you.
I trademarked the logo this year.
Oh, nice. That's
Congrats.
awesome.
That's
Really
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. It's on your hats.
Oh my gosh, the hats. I mean, we can't keep them.
Every time I'm here, I think about your hat. It's as bad as
between
Sailfish.
I see Sailfish, Little Jim, and White's Tackle. I think those are the three staples in Fort Pierce that you see everywhere.
And shout out to Christy with Varsity Sports. She makes all three of those.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So she definitely.
Yeah, we're taking over the world.
Slowly but surely.
Through hats
Yeah.
and t-shirts
And beer.
and beer.
And beer.
What more do you need?
Yeah.
just
Not much
speaks to
more.
the connection that places like this have with people. Like they want.
You had a bug in your face. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'll show
supposed to
you
go like
a
this.
connection.
I'm so sorry.
Oh man, it's Jake Paul.
Sorry.
Oh, all good. Anything on this side?
No.
People do take ownership. The idea that they're out in the wild wearing, a Little Jim's hat, a Sailfish T-shirt. That just goes to show the symbiotic relationship of the area. People love it and take ownership of that stuff. It's awesome. So great to see.
Yeah.
You don't see that in a lot of places.
No.
Certainly in Florida.
I mean, especially just the way, again, it comes in and creates that. Everything is so limited edition.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to be there, what hat's going to be there, t-shirt's going to be there, and you better grab it. This isn't even in there right now.
No.
And I just got this the other day.
Yeah. I was looking for one this morning because I forgot mine. And I'm like, oh my God, the one I want is not here anymore.
I'll go into Selfish for our meeting and we're not open yet, and I'll be like, I gotta look at the hats before we open, and I'll be like, this is mine, this is mine.
As an employee, if you're not buying that stuff, you see it the day of, there's no next week for you to get it.
No.
Just
There's
doesn't
no
exist.
Tomorrow.
It goes quick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like when I drive up with the shipment. It's like these massive, all the employees go, here, can I help you? And then they're rummaging through the boxes and oh my
I'll
God,
take that, I'll
yeah,
take
I gotta
that.
take that. Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
Well, you tell Taylor, what would be really cool is a long sleeve shirt with a hoodie on it. Not a zip up. She's like, oh, that's great. Show up in the brewery, they're gone. She goes, we had them.
Yeah, sounds like our story.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Taylor don't care. She'd be like, sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Even if you requested it, even if she put a special order in for you, she's like, well.
We don't make our full money with your employee discount, Brian.
Which is fair.
Yeah. So Donna, Little Jims, what do you see as the future of Little Jims? Anything? Where do you see this place going beyond what it currently is and what you've already done to it, which is amazing, obviously, and the fact that you're like your own little sufficient island out here.
Yeah,
more or less.
So we do have a big RFP coming up.
Okay.
So I can't really reveal too much of what we want to do because obviously I've got a lot of competition out there, I think, for this.
Okay.
But yes, stay tuned because it's going to be Little Gym, but really badass.
Cool.
Yeah, so this is a little background on that. So this is still city-owned property.
Yes.
And they leased this out, and they had leased to Rich and Rita for a long time.
Yes.
Donna took it over from them 4 years ago?
No, 2019. 6 years.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
You were
sorry.
way off.
2019
Sorry.
is yesterday, and I still
COVID
come to grips
disappears
with
like
that.
2
Yeah.
years. Yeah. So 2019. But I mean, what you've done with this place over the past 5 years, with bringing in the separate bar. I mean, you were self-sustaining out here for a long time too. You just got power recently, and the correct power. I guess.
The correct power.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of like on an island. We don't even have internet here. There is no internet.
Oh man,
Love it.
So it is
That's
kind of
great.
good. Yeah, I always say if you come here on the weekends, you don't have this.
That's very fair.
You
Yeah.
look around and people are talking and interacting and having fun. It's like
Eating pimento.
yes, eating pimento and boiled peanuts
And boiled peanuts.
and drinking light taco beer.
And
Hey!
shit shows. Welcome to the shit show.
So yeah, but yeah, we have a lot of great ideas. We are going to keep it as is, but just kind of make it a little cooler.
Enhance it a little bit.
Yeah.
No, it's looking forward to seeing what that looks like.
Yeah.
And hopefully that whole process works out for you. And,
Yeah, I hope
and we're
so.
definitely behind you on that
Yeah.
as well. So
I appreciate
As
that.
we've seen you've seen the support we've given you.
Yeah,
with that. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
And shout out to what you. I mean, I think people take for granted what this was when you took it over. And no offense to Rich and Rita, they did a great job with it. But you've
Yeah.
really done a lot here.
Well, Richard and Rita had other jobs.
Yeah.
They both had careers, and this was not their career, and I took it and, took what their vision was and actually made it happen for them.
Yeah. No, that's a fair point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is lobstering every day a job for Rich? Is that classified as a job?
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Have you seen the size of those things he
he's-
gets?
yeah,
Good
yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
He's catching
if
monsters.
If that thing came at me, I'm going the other way. I'm sorry. I don't want that.
Yeah,
No, thank you. That thing's scary.
I like to go to his house or office and see some of the ones he's talking about that he actually had made. I mean, that's...
He has a picture of one, and it's literally wrapped around his body,
Oh my
and
God.
I'm just
I don't
like,
like that.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I don't like it a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
a
good too.
dinosaur at this point.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it is prehistoric for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've been lobstering a few times off at Fort Pierce, and as long as it's clear, there's a lot of them hiding out there still.
yeah,
That
yeah.
it's not an overfished area for lobster.
No, he's definitely the person to go. He's amazing.
He knows the spots to go to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
He obviously knows they swim backwards, unlike me, to learn that the hard way.
Yeah, so the first time I took Emily lobstering, we're down there snorkeling. We were only like 5 foot of water, and she sees one. All right, cool. Get set up on it, and she had the net right in front of its face,
no.
and the tickle stick, and it took off. And she looked at me. I could see it in the underwater. Her gauntlet's like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, babe, they swim backwards. So put your net behind them.
I was so mad because he was a good one. It was gonna be my first. I haven't got a lobster yet. That was
No,
my
you've not.
only opportunity, and lack of
It's
knowledge.
just a Warner
won.
Brothers experience.
Yeah, typically now it's on the boat. Like we jump in, we limit out, and then all right, cool, we're
No,
done.
I'm not allowed to get in. I feel like
You're allowed to get in.
not get in, but I have to like watch for boats and stuff. And everyone else is like, "We got this, we got this," and I'm just like, "I can do things. I can
I'm
do
down
it."
there for an hour working one hole and come with a whole bag, and we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's like I get to drive the golf cart.
So speaking of that, going into segue into marine life and our time on the water. I mean, obviously, you spent a lot of time on the water.
Yes.
And you just got back from Guatemala.
Yeah.
And that was part of was it the women's fishing?
No, this one actually was a charity event, No Sancocho,
Okay.
where you actually pay money if you miss a sailfish.
You were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's such a good idea.
Yeah, it was really great. They raised money for the schools. I mean, it obviously third world country.
Right.
We're very privileged that we actually can go and do that. But what a great fishery! I mean, amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you catch anything?
They would clean me out, by the way.
Yeah, our boat caught 81 sailfish in 3 days.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
It was epic. Yeah.
That's great.
Eat it, right?
No, you catch and release.
Oh.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I said-
You don't
oh.
eat sailfish. Yeah.
You don't eat shellfish?
No.
No, ma'am.
No.
Okay.
Catch and release.
I mean, it makes sense. I guess I've never seen one on a menu. or
Anything with a
anything.
big bill on it, you're not going to keep
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Still
except swordfish.
Swordfish fair, yeah.
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 I think that's what I was getting mixed up there.
Okay.
Not the same.
In fairness, yeah.
This is why I'm not allowed off the boat.
But you're also part of, so backing up there, how many sales did you actually miss then?
I personally missed 5.
Okay.
So not too
So you guys
bad.
had probably almost 100 attempts then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were 81 for 101.
Okay.
So our ratio
That's
is pretty
great.
good.
It's pretty solid.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Pretty
wasn't too
solid.
bad. I was pretty
80%.
impressed. So,
Hold on,
yeah.
I was like, hold on, let me do
Yeah.
the math on that. 80%.
Yeah.
But you're also part of, and forgive me, but it's a women's focused fishing group.
Yeah, I do a lot of women's fishing, and on top of that, I do a charity tournament here in Fort Pierce, which is the Lenny Shalene Memorial Tournament. I
Okay.
don't know if you guys know him or have ever heard of him,
No,
but
please.
he passed away from glioblastoma,
Okay.
which is a huge issue in this area, brain cancer, 33 years old. So,
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
yeah, we started a tournament in his name in 2018.
Okay.
So we are
awful.
still going. We've raised over $250,000 for research
That's
Wow.
great.
for that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I do a lot of things with just girls fishing.
Is that for just girls?
No, that's everybody. So we do have a
Wow.
girls' day, January 4th and 5th, either
Okay.
day. And then we do the actual kickoff for the tournament is during the Pelican.
Okay.
So you can fish both.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
I'm in.
yeah,
There
there
you
you
go.
go.
Anyone is willing to put me on their team. You know?
Do you guys share like a Calcutta with them or anything like that for that, or is
No,
it,
not
okay.
Pelican. We don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they have their own thing, but they do promote it.
Okay.
They encourage you if you are fishing. I mean, it's $1,500 to
Yeah.
those guys. It's really nothing.
Mhm.
And like I said, it all goes to a great cause.
That's awesome.
perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, fishing is great. You got to get your kids out there.
Oh, for
you
sure,
know, everybody. I mean, everybody should do it.
Yeah, I
It's amazing.
love it.
It's a rite of passage in this area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it absolutely
for sure.
is.
It's like in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, they wrap babies in terrible towels, and here they get a tackle box.
See, there you go.
Or a
and
light
just, you know,
tackle.
the diverse ecosystem we have here too for fishing. You can do
Oh my gosh, it's
everything
great.
and get every species
Yeah.
imaginable.
I mean,
in
if
one.
you hang out here, you see
Yeah.
grouper and you see snapper and you see sharks and
Oh, yeah.
barracudas.
Yeah.
Oh, we always see the kids stalking the snook underneath the
Oh, yeah.
boats and trying to get them out of there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really
Producer
cool.
Nate's looking right where he's like, there's a lot of snook over there. I was like, next time we'll just cast and reel right from here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and this place, you know, on a Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, I mean, there are boats moored up all the way here, all the way
Yeah.
around this place. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely,
A spot to be.
A spot to be, yeah, for lack
Yeah.
of a better term. So yeah,
Very inclusive. All the things you want to do,
definitely is.
Oh, yes.
It's awesome.
and family friendly,
Oh yeah, and
lot
dog
of-
friendly.
And dog friendly.
and dog friendly.
yeah.
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 How's your dog doing?
She's doing good. She had ACL surgery 12 weeks ago. And she's doing great.
This is the puppy this got?
No,
Okay.
this is my Roddy. And then we have a puppy that's 4.5 months old, and he is crazy.
As is the case for most puppies.
Well, his name is Loco. I guess we named
Appropriately
the
named.
appropriately
Yeah.
named dog. Yes. So.
Well, you got Seamus. Is
Yes,
that's Seamus?
That's Shane's dog.
Right. That's
yeah.
the brother, right?
Yeah.
And
that's the brother.
Seamus is loco as well.
Yes, yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
Every time he's here, I'm like, I'll babysit him. I'll
He
hold
gets
him.
passed down the bar pretty much when
Yeah.
we're
Well,
older.
so Zazu that you met this morning, that's
Yes.
Seamus's older brother. Same
didn't know
parents.
that.
Yeah, same parents.
Cute.
Yeah.
I love Seamus and Zazu. Haven't met Loco.
So
but
all
it doesn't
all
matter, all
Roddy,
dogs.
all Roddies are
Well, I have a Roddy.
okay.
Full bred Roddy, and then our new one has a mixture of Roddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, like, you named that dog Loco. You couldn't name a Basset Hound Loco.
No, probably not. Probably wouldn't be a good idea.
Those are the kind of dogs that like you have to like throw them outside, go for a walk.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I want one still. And then I had a friend get one, and I'm like, oh my god, that dog is a stubborn slug. It does nothing. It doesn't want to do anything.
And they stink. I mean, that's the other thing about basset hounds.
All dogs stink.
Some dogs have better stinks than others. Basset hounds have the worst.
Well, for years I've had a basset hound in my head that I wanted, and its name was going to be Dolly. So it's kind of we've
Jolene.
I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, sidebar pass there.
Sidebar pass.
It's just going to be my new statement for every time I get completely off topic, which is often.
Quite often?
Often. It's just I have the thought in my head and I have to get it out.
Have you ever said time of death?
We were on a podcast this past Friday. We were on a podcast with someone that's an organization we support, and Emily's like, do you ever do time of death? Like,
have you ever said time of death?
Well, it's because they're doing surgeries on wildlife, and it's right there, and I'm like, do they got a call? It was a genuine question. Do they got a call time of death on the animal? Like, I was just wondering.
Well, like, what? It's the CEO, like he gets called in the middle of surgery to come in there. What's going on?
Time of death.
I'm here to save the day.
Which he didn't deny that they kind of have to say it died.
Pretty sure not writing no coroner's reports for those. So yeah.
All right, I didn't know.
Well, now we do.
Didn't know. I mean, I felt like it was a formal situation where he's getting checked into the hospital. Maybe they have to record log his death. I didn't know. Anyway, sidebar pass again.
Sidebar pass again.
Hey.
So Donna, between Little Jims and Cobb's, you have what, 200 employees or so?
I have 160.
Okay, I mean, Gabe and I were fortunate enough to come hang out for a little bit at your employee party last month, and man, everybody had a great time. It looked like, and there were people jumping off the bridge, and very, very family focused, and just it's your team obviously loves your two organizations, loves you, and it's just it's and again a tough thing to build is that.
Yeah, it is. You just gotta. They're people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're people, and they have same issues that we have, and you gotta respect that.
No, for sure.
And you gotta listen to them, and you gotta help them. And it's important to me to have a day where they can connect and disconnect.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great place to do that at.
Oh,
so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best place to do it at, in my opinion.
Well, you two have like the synergy between the two where you'll have employees here and then employees there, and if they get off work here, they'll go over to Cobb's after, which is just like we're kind of the same. If we come here and it closes, and we'll go to Cobb's afterwards, and there's whoever was just working their shift.
It's over there,
Meaning like not too many places where people want to go hang out after their work. They want to go to their workplace or the other workplace. Yeah. So you've definitely created.
That means you have a really good culture.
Right.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We have, I personally have an amazing team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are just number one in my opinion.
And extremely, it's all, you go to places for the people.
Yes.
Yeah. If you own a restaurant, a bar, that's the key. And all of your people are personable. I mean, you go there for the people, and they remember you, and it's all about the experience. And you guys deliver an absolutely amazing experience at both spots. And specifically, we're at today at Little Jims. I mean,
thank you.
It's really a job well done with what you've done both entities, and
thank you very much.
Continue the effort you've done here. I mean, it is something that if you are local and can appreciate the longevity of this spot specifically, and what you've done to it to enhance it, and just bring more people in and make people aware of it, and everything else. I mean, it is that kind of cornerstone in the community. Yeah. For lack of a better term. So,
yeah. It's our little slice of paradise, is what we call it.
No,
and
for
if
sure.
the city's listening and you try to take it, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be real mad. I'm gonna be mad. That's it.
Time of death for you, city.
Literally.
So backing up to that, and if you don't want to go into this too much, that's fine. But with the RFP coming out, if you win that, which we hope you do, how long would you have it for this place for then?
Well, we're going to request 20 years with 2 5-year options. Okay. So hopefully 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So a long time.
Yeah, and that's going to be.
I mean, I hope I'm not working that long.
But it allows you to do the enhancements you want to do.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
that's the whole key of it.
Yeah.
Because you've already done a
absolutely.
lot of enhancements to the property. With all the auxiliary spot stuff you have here, and just adding to the overall experience, expanding it beyond just the patio here. It's out in half the parking lot out there. I mean, it's just it accommodates a lot of people.
I mean, you've made like a whole little, just like you said, like a functional island here in the sense of got the nicest porta potty bathroom. It's not even porta potties. It's a bathroom, and it is so clean always.
And has AC.
And it has AC.
Oh, game on.
And you don't even run in water, and it's like fantastic. And then you've added the mobile shipping container bar. It's not mobile, but the shipping container bar, which is like fantastic as well. And then your pizzas.
Oh, the pizzas are so good, aren't they?
I haven't had one yet.
Oh, you gotta have one. They're so good.
I load up so hard on pimento, so much, and then it's always the caprese, and then now I've somehow switched to the fish sandwich because
the fish sandwich is good too. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
so
but try the pizza
yet.
though.
Okay.
Gotta try the pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a
So
combo
good.
Saturday. It was the fish sandwich and the burger. That was a pretty good
Oh, the
combo.
burger's
burgers.
Half and half for
burgers
both.
so
That was
done
awesome.
well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just love food. So
Well, this is the place. You could be here till it closes and not even know that you were here all day.
Oh yeah.
I know, it's scary,
that's a
isn't
sign
it?
of- yeah,
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I hear you. I've done that a few times.
and again, welcome to the shit show.
I know when we have a late start on Monday, it's because Dave's like, "Hey man, I was at Little Jim say less, my man. Say less. I know how this is." Yeah.
Yeah.
But to speak in, to the business community, we had a occurrence that happened a couple months ago where some negative stuff was kind of shown on downtown. And it's always easy to focus on the negative, but there's so much positive to talk about. And you led this, Donna, and the response to that literally next day of getting like a rebuttal back to that statement of like, cool, you guys talked about a lot of things that are negative that may be kind of focused to maybe one restaurateur opinion, but taking the overall. And I remember I didn't physically do it. Taylor did it for our side of it, but how begrudging the reporter was. Like, all right, I need to talk to everybody else now and all the good stuff going on. And it's like there's a lot of good stuff going on, and the fact that we come together with the Downtown Business Association, the DBA, which so the key stakeholders, Donna, ourselves, Second Street, are involved with, and the events we put on. It's the Night of the Thirsty Dead, which happened last month, which was amazing.
I think this was like my favorite one.
Yeah,
and I've been to like the past like 3 or 4.
Having the stage where we did, I think, made
that was
the
so
difference.
much better.
Because it created that kind of like flow of motion to a T down to your place at Cobb's, up to Public House, over to us and Selfish and Second Street, and then the other, like say, plus time to the T down to Pierce, and it was like right in the middle, and it made so much sense.
Perfect. But I say, I mean, if you're negative about downtown Fort Pierce, then you're not participating because there is so much good going on. I mean, and we welcome everybody.
Yeah, and rising tides raises all ships. Like
Absolutely.
The more everybody's thriving, we all thrive. If you're doing something great, we're going to benefit from that, and vice versa. And that's what it's all about, and how we have collectively with the kind of stakeholder businesses in downtown have kind of led the charge for the main events that happen in downtown. Aside from what Doris does with Second Street with the Friday Fest, which she does a great job with those, St. Patrick's Day, Oktoberfest, Night of the Thirsty Dead. I mean, it's a
it's a happening place.
It's also a fun
I think
show.
I think the Night of the Thirsty Dead is the #1 Halloween party on the Treasure Coast for sure. And I think I read something else. I mean, it's huge.
It's big. You can win a lot of money.
Yeah, people drive down from Orlando. They drive up from Fort Lauderdale.
West Coast.
West Coast as well too. And it's the going back to the Tiki Bar. You guys kind of started that.
Oh yeah.
So that was a continuation of what the Tiki Bar started.
Yeah, we
10 years before that.
Yeah, we actually it was the last year, and I think Taylor and I talked in Bistro, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do something together?" Since obviously we want to continue this, and it's been amazing. So we said, "Sure, let's do it."
It's awesome.
It shows how much everybody loves Halloween too.
Oh yeah.
I was really blown away by how many people were in costume.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was everybody.
Yeah.
You
didn't show up if you weren't in costume.
very few people were not in costume.
I showed up and then I changed real quick.
Some of us were in costume for 10 minutes.
It was 2 hours.
Oh, well, yeah.
The green would not come off my face. I was old Greg
Yeah.
for Halloween, and he lasted. I was a he for a minute, and he lasted.
there you
only-
go.
It was mainly the
Yeah.
headdress you're wearing was what
It's
kind
cutting
of.
my circulation off my head. Yeah.
But
so,
excellent effort in the costume there.
Thank
You
you.
killed it for the short time you wore it.
Thank you, Lone Star.
Dave had the most amount of effort for his costume on Halloween. He just
So
threw
Brian,
on
What
a
were you?
jacket.
What did you do?
So if you've seen the movie Spaceballs,
Okay.
Brian and I went as Barf and Lone Star. So Brian's costume was great. He had the tail,
Crushed
he
it.
had the face makeup, everything.
A hot glue gun it onto his ass.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
tail.
what do I do? I'm like, I just put some slacks on and a colored shirt and a jacket, and I just walked around. I was Lone Star. So
People
like,
knew, too.
They did know.
I love it.
yeah,
They knew.
we killed it
Yeah.
for what it
That's
was.
so great.
Yeah.
I hugged a lot of people that day.
You got a lot of pictures taken with you.
I'm a natural hugger, and this is still like overwhelming for me. How many like, oh my God, Barf, I love you.
and you kept
sure.
you kept your tail the entire night too.
Well, there was trouble because it was like there was a belt, and the belt like wasn't made for a space mutant like me to begin with, but it was a very tiny belt. I barely would fit around my leg, so I'm like, all right, Emily, we're gonna have to do something. She goes, I'll get a hot glue gun. We'll glue it on your ass. Sounds great.
And it worked.
And it worked.
It was.
It worked.
I can't believe it held all night.
Like all night.
I
Like
can't believe it held.
it's the most successful hot glue venture of all time.
It was
Because hot glue
it's like
usually
5 glue sticks.
Yeah. That's exactly
I was
right.
like, hold still, it's too
Well,
heavy.
and then, the drive over to the sailfish from Dave's place, you just hear like, she goes, there goes that tail. All that work. And it stayed on. It stayed on. It was awesome.
It did. It did.
No,
Yeah,
but
definitely
I'm
a good time.
blown away by, but all those events, I mean, truthfully, if, people listening and watching, if you see those events promoted, you gotta come. There's nothing
Yes.
in the state that's like that at all. All of them. Very unique experience for each one. Oktoberfest, there was a lot of vendors on the street for just like, shopping for the holidays. Night of the Thirsty Dead is it's a party for all ages. You think like, okay, there's all these bars and things promoting it, but I mean, the Bounce House at Night of the Thirsty Dead was just as popular as like the brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that Sailfish cosplayed as a nightclub that night.
Like every place had
yeah.
something else going on
Oh, yeah.
beyond what was going on in the main stage.
Yeah.
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 It was nice.
It was funny to see Selfish turn into
I know,
literally
it was
a
great.
nightclub.
Yeah, it was great. I mean,
Dave
it's
was just sitting
Awesome.
I mean, the
trying
Cobbs had
to-
music, we had music, Second Street had music, and
Yeah.
then we had the main stage
Yeah.
in the center too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everywhere you went, it was a party.
Yeah.
you
I
know?
think what makes it different too versus like, doing something in Palm Beach or doing the Fort Lauderdale, Miami thing is it's like not one big long strip of bars and people doing things. It's not like it's very conducive just to this little circle.
Yeah.
And it's all right there versus like someone's down at one part of the end of the street and then they got to Uber all the way down to the other. So I think it just makes it a literal massive actual real block party.
One big
Yeah.
party. Yeah.
Block party. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big street city party. Anywho.
Thanks for the clarification there.
You're welcome. I don't like Miami.
Just think about anything else coming up, Donna, on your end of things between Cobb's, little gyms, anything you want to talk about coming up in the future you want people to be aware of?
God.
You got the fishing tournament come up in
Yeah,
January.
fishing tournament in January, and just see some beautiful weather.
Oh,
Downtown, go see the Christmas lights.
Yep.
Go to Sailfish, go to Cobb's. We really don't have too much going on till springtime.
Yeah.
And then right back into Easter, we do the Easter Bunny here. He arrives on a boat, and that's always
Easter Bunny?
fun.
That is the most
And
Fort Pierce thing I've ever heard.
Well, and Easter is 420 this year.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yep.
So a little
Didn't know that either.
controversy there.
The
Yeah.
Easter
Yes.
Bunny's eggs are going to be filled with substances.
Which is not a bad idea. It's like where your head's at.
It's everybody's dad's worst nightmare.
Sounds like a good time.
Somebody's dad is
Yeah.
they're giving kids weed gummies. Well, now they are on Easter.
Yeah, there is some controversy there. I love it.
Yeah.
And then the ending of the boat parade for Christmas is going to be right across from Cobb's, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Rich and Rita are going to have a Santa there. They said.
Yeah,
they said?
Santa Claus is coming to Cobb's downtown. It'll be
Santa Claus is
fun.
coming to Cobb's.
Immediate.
All right, that's a song. Let's do it.
And that's December 8th or 9th. It's a Sunday.
He's
right?
making a list,
No,
ordering chicken
so
and rice.
the boat parade, I think, is
It's the weekend after that.
yes, 14th,
14th, I believe you're right.
13th, 14th,
Your sidebar pass.
Is it a Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
The 14th.
Yeah, 14th.
Yeah, so December 14th. Sorry, we had to look at the calendar.
Yeah.
December 14th, and that ends around 8:39.
Yeah, usually. And when
Yeah.
we have the downtown Sights and Sounds parade.
That's right. Yep. The weekend
The
before
8th.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Sunday the 8th,
Yeah, that's
which
awesome.
is craziness.
Yeah, that's
So
gonna be a
bring
good time.
your
Yeah.
boats,
I think they
bring
have,
your
like,
bitches, bring your boys.
No, don't do that on the 8th because that's on the street, so the boat
Okay.
probably won't work.
Boat parade. Bring your boats,
Boat on a
bitches,
trailer.
and boys.
No, it's I think it's like 60 plus floats in it this
Yes,
year.
yeah,
I know
it's a
Southern Eagle is
lot.
bringing one of their trailers out
Nice.
as well with the buggy shooting out.
This is for the
Oh,
8th?
nice.
Yeah.
The 8th or the 14th?
The 8th. This is the one on the street.
The one on the street
yeah,
is
so-
the 8th.
Okay.
There's a parade, and
float?
then there's the boat parade.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
thinking like tube floats.
She was thinking like the Rose Bowl
lot of-
parade.
We'll have Emily No 2 float behind Rich and Rita's boat at the end of the boat parade.
Wrong.
I don't know. I think it'd be cool if we did our own interpretation of the Macy's Day Parade that day and just have like floats. It's like, here's a giant margarita brought to you by Cobb Landing.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. That'd be a narrow
Yeah.
street to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just start it off with a big float that says "Welcome to the shit show."
There you go.
Makes sense.
That's the one. That's the
Throwing
one.
out weed gummies and beads.
Yeah.
Are we Key West?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, and that's actually a very
Uh-huh.
good analogy because, like, you live in Key West for a year. We've been down there a lot, you know, because we have a lot of presence down there with our brand. I have some great friends down there, Brian Miller, Jess Miller, and great people down there. The similarities are so much more abundant every year of Fort Pierce and going back to identity. You know,
Okay.
Key West has its identity. Fort Pierce has its identity.
Right.
Not saying they're the same, but they're very much in the fact that they own that identity.
Right.
And hey, either you go along or get out of the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's really what it boils down to.
No, and it needs to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's the way, you know, the things we embrace in this area, and if you know, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah,
if that makes
I
any
love
sense.
that. Yeah.
So it makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense, and you know, people want to know more what's going on.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
and get involved. And you know, it's so nice this time of year too, seeing more people come back. You know, because at that time of year, people come back there, and it's just people that you pick back right off where you left off when they left. You know, 6 months ago.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy. They'll be like, "Oh, we just got here and we stopped at Little Gym. It's our first stop."
Yeah, yeah.
Or, you know, so
I mean, I brought my
it's
parents
great.
here
Yeah.
when they came in. It was like the immediate. As soon as we picked them in Orlando, came back, and it was coming straight here, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they loved it.
Dropped the boat
Loved
in
it.
the water and drove
Yep.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, it becomes that place you have to bring your or out of towners to.
Right.
You know, because you have to see the spot.
Well, it's kind of like when we go to the Keys. You have, you go to Robbie's. You stop
Yeah,
at Robbie's
exactly.
on the
Right.
way down.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
You
kind
have
of like
to.
you have to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we've got to develop the Robbie's large tarpon out front here.
Well, we're working on that. You dump lots of bait and lots of scraps.
Okay. So eventually we'll
build
them
it,
up
they
to
will
be
come.
prehistoric sized tarpon out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
So eat your old hand when you
Yeah.
feed them.
I haven't done it where you they actually slurp it off of you.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah, I
give them a
can't
little
really
thrill.
do that
I can't
either. Yeah.
It just
yeah.
feels like why do
Yeah.
I want to do that? It's not giving me a thrill. I don't want teethed up.
Yeah, my luck, I'll be in there with all of them.
Right.
And it
All
won't be
in.
good.
I
Yeah.
would
That'll be it.
I would poop my pants.
Yeah, you figure
100%.
most of the size of those, they're 100 plus
Oh my God,
pounds.
they're
massive.
huge.
They whack you.
Yeah,
they
they're
knock
as
you
big
out.
as we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Well, I think they even promote it too, where they're like, maybe not necessarily Robbie's, but wasn't it a thing for a while where they were like, now all the other tarpon, like those tarpon now that live there, can't go out there and survive on their own because they're just so used to getting big and fat right there at Robbie's.
Well, it's probably
to where-
the amount of food they have to eat now.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot
Okay.
to keep
Oh
up
my
with.
gosh, yeah.
I mean, to sustain a 120
That's
pound
fair.
tarpon is
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of food you got to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got to figure they get fed all day long.
All day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a constant buffet.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't leave.
I mean, there you go.
You know?
Case in point.
So you brought this
Yeah.
It's Donna makes her own extracts with different spirits.
Yes.
So you made me a vanilla extract with Dano's Dangerous Coffee Tequila. Do you do that in your cocktails at Cobb's?
Well, I just made a bunch. My first batch is about ready, so we are going to play with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a new endeavor?
I just get bored sometimes at night, and I go, oh, look what's in the liquor cabinet. Oh, what can I do with that?
Let's make something here.
It's always about the drinks, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always about what can you make?
So speaking of that, I know we had someone stop in recently, but are you guys doing any of the Delta 9 additives to any of the cocktails?
No.
Okay, gotcha. I
The
missed,
Easter Bunny
Well,
is
I was
not
misinformed by that
visiting
one, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, no, I personally try it, and it's
Yeah.
really good, and I haven't been drinking alcohol per se, but however, yeah, no, I recommend you try it first before you sell it.
That's fair.
I have sold it a little bit in the market, and it's definitely that hit or miss if people are like, hell yeah or hell no. Mostly it's like, yeah, well, if they're stoned and they're sitting here at the bar, they're going to eat more.
Right.
So it keeps them a little bit longer. But then they're...
Or they'll just be a couch.
Right. And that's the flip side of the coin of
Right.
it. Or a paranoid, yeah, you just never know.
Yeah,
It's
there's
a very
lot
interesting
of
way.
variables that are with it that you see, because I think, when you mix alcohol with it, I mean,
Yeah.
that can
I've
become
never-
I
not
don't-
good.
Never
I don't
had
think you're
a good
allowed to do it yet. I mean, especially since, at least when I've been selling it, I'm not even allowed to like open it up and sample it, and I can't be like, go make a cocktail with it. But I think that's a thing that they're separate with. I'm pretty sure that you're not allowed to mix the THC with the alcohol. You serve it right
but
there.
Then you know what's going to happen. Hey,
for
I want
sure.
a shot of this,
Right.
and I want this,
Yeah.
and boom, next thing you
Mix it
know,
up, yeah.
hey, got
Weird
my cocktail
things.
here.
That's not going to stop people from
So
doing that
let's,
at home.
let's
yeah.
speak a
No,
little
of
bit to
course
that,
not.
though. I mean, you brought up a good point there with, there is a lot of people that are, basically reducing their drinking of
Yes.
alcohol and
Yes.
transitioning to more of a CBD based or
Correct.
THC based, method to, still cut loose, for lack of a better term. You
Right.
take the edge off.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that? Tell us a little about that experience with you and how that's been.
Oh, well, I've just done it just because I wanted to try it before I sold it. And
Gotcha,
I'm like,
okay.
okay, I kind of like this. This
Yeah.
is good. But we do a lot of the CDB stuff because that's a little different than the THC. But, you're right. Yeah. The sober movement
It's all
is
the things you
crazy.
love about that, because I'm a CBD fanatic.
Right.
I can't do THC at
Yes.
all. I have terrible experiences with it.
Right.
But CBD, I put like a gallon of it in my tea at night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I think they need to tweak it and fine tune it because I do think there is a big market
Oh, yeah.
for that because let's face it, people get stoned every day. They don't drink every day
Right.
anymore.
Right.
And we are in the drinking business, so we have to figure out what can we do to keep these people coming to us. But
Yeah.
I do a lot of mocktails, especially at Cobb's.
Oh, yeah.
And it does phenomenal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think just the whole
The social environment aspect of it, but you don't want to get
correct.
Drunk,
Or
yeah.
you have, January where they dry
Right.
January or whatever. But, I feel like as your business and my business, we have to figure out what we're going to do to keep those people while they're going through that.
No, for sure.
So,
And
yeah.
trying it out because
Yeah.
everyone wants to try it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
you got to try it. I'm a firm believer in trying everything before I put it out there.
Yeah. I think that's why it's been doing so well kind of on the off-premise side. It's
Yes.
just because people
Yes.
can, like if you're cracking one open for the first time at a bar, you don't know how it's going to
Right.
make you react. You don't know how you're going to be on it. And the last thing you want to do is, have some sort of
Right.
paranoia, panic attack at
Right.
the bar.
Yeah. Yeah, it would
And
not be
then-
good.
Yeah. And then, it could just go. It could go a lot of ways. So I think
Yeah.
that's
Right.
why it's working so well on the off-premise side, and a lot of on-premise buyers are very hesitant just because of that exact reason. What you
Yeah,
said.
I think, because you're dealing with alcohol too. And
Yeah.
I think there's that fine line of how do you monitor that? How do you
Yeah.
know they're not drinking and doing that at the same time?
Right.
Yeah, we try to get ahead of it at the brewery where, for the longest time, putting the terpenes, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but
Terpenes.
terpenes into the beer to kind of give it that flavor and
Right.
aroma aspect. And even then, just because that is derived from the cannabinoid still, they won't let you do that.
Right.
So anytime you get, what are you laughing at?
Cannabinoids.
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 You said cannabinoids.
No, I can't even pronounce it right.
Cannabinoids. Lights Out is only 4.7. So,
Sorry.
but it is, yeah.
Sorry, I lost train of thought there. No, so to do that, to achieve that legally in the beer, it's more of a floral mixture they use to try to get that.
Okay, got
like
it.
say the beer you see out there that has that advertised as like a 420 beer, it's all derived through botanicals,
Right.
Because you can't legally actually put any kind of cannabinoid derived product into alcohol. And so we got ahead of it, 2.5 years ago, where we started going down the path of getting that approved by the TTB, and then that deferred to the FDA, and ultimately it went nowhere because
Right.
the TTB is like, well, the FDA needs to tell us what to do
Right.
if that works, and they're like, we're not there yet. So that kind of halted, and it just goes back to will that ever even be a thing?
I don't know. I feel like it has to be, because if you
Yeah.
look at alcohol, and what alcohol does to
Yeah.
people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a parallel. It's just a different product.
It's a gateway drug.
Well, I think to your
Yeah.
point is
Yeah.
like trying to figure out trying a lot of it and figure out the right mixture
Yes.
that creates that solution.
Correct.
Where it's not too much of one thing and a good balance of it all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so I think all of us
absolutely.
have probably done THC and alcohol together, and sometimes that goes really well, sometimes it doesn't go well.
I woke up in Colorado and I couldn't feel my legs.
Yeah,
That's a real story. Woke up on a ski trip. My dad's like, "You ready to go?" I'm like, "I can't move my legs, Dad."
This
is bad news.
It's very much
So
Russian
bad.
roulette. Like you either chose poorly or chose wisely.
Well, you're very good about that. Where the experimental side for you, you're very much like, all right, I'll try it. I'm over here. Like anytime we're in a group setting, anywhere, especially out skiing or anything like that, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna risk it for the biscuit today, guys. I'll stick with beer.
Well, she had a bunch of samples of the psilocybin-based stuff from mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
In a can.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the
Yeah.
THC
Did you do
stuff.
that?
No, see, I'm
I did.
a little drug phobe.
And
drug
it was a
phobe.
12 or what do you call it, like an 8-ounce can?
8-ounce can, which
Yeah.
they definitely, it's called, I think Breeze was the brand of it, but
Okay.
it was, it had CBD and mushrooms in it. And
Oh man.
yeah, it was,
Well, they say mushrooms are like really good for you. And
Yeah.
Yeah, from a
But-
microdosing aspect, they
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
help you a lot.
Right.
With people who have anxiety.
Yeah.
Just kind of like balancing you out. I always say like that psilocybin helps connect all the maybe misfires in your brain, like the wires that aren't connected. Sometimes it connects them.
it's like a refresh.
Yeah.
It's like hitting restart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
I don't know. That's just my
there's-
experience has been good with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's drinks coming out with that mushroom in them,
Right.
relatively soon.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what it was, is what you were saying.
Correct,
Is
yeah.
the one that you had. And did you like it?
Yeah, no, I didn't know what to expect, and it hit
Yeah.
me like I couldn't see going out to a restaurant and having that 8-ounce can and
Right.
having a good time after I did that.
Yeah.
It
That's-
was a different type of experience, and to your
Right.
point, maybe the off-premise focus of the package stores versus like a restaurant carrying something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I know what a beer's going to do to me.
Yeah.
I know what a margarita's going to do to me, and I know what my tolerance level is. People will tell me, okay, this is 5 milligrams, you'll be fine, and that I'm on the floor, like in dread, thinking the sky is falling right on top of me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like oh, that was such a small. I'm like, I don't know. And then there are other times where I can take whatever and not feel any effects of it. So
Yeah.
it's like that is really the problem, in my opinion.
It's fair.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the next 5 years. It was somewhat disappointing to not have that law passed this past 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah.
I really thought
Feels
we were
like a
there.
lifetime ago.
But it's there's a lot of people probably investing in THC products
Oh,
that were
yeah.
hoping that would go forward. But the continuation of that's people want to have access to try it out to see how it affects them.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, again, go back to the first time you had something to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how you were affected, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just a tolerance level
and
of what
it's-
you can do.
And it's all
Right.
a cycle too. I mean, go back to beer for example. I mean, you go from drinking like the craft beer drinker, right? So IPAs, stouts to light
Light
lagers.
lagers. Right.
I mean, that's where the whole thing is kind of transitioned,
Yes.
evolved through and from. And I go back to just, the old saying of like beer flavored beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time we still have that, but a lot of the flavored beers out there,
Oh,
which
yeah,
are
it was-
good if they're the right, amounts. And some of those beers you can have one and not 5.
Right.
Light lagers you can have 10. And
Or more.
or more. So
100.
But just the cycle and evolution of people and just their palates and what they're experiencing and how they adapt and what they're liking at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we're also in Florida, where it's hot as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Although this week, I'm hoping that we actually do get that cold front.
Oh, my gosh. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be
Right.
amazing?
Yeah,
Unreal.
The 40s
Yeah.
by
Yes.
Thursday, I think.
The idea that I get to wear a hoodie this week has gotten me so excited.
I wore one the other day, here, Saturday night.
Yeah.
I was in a hoodie. It was amazing.
My favorite was over the summer, like cold front coming. Oh, it's going from 97 to 93. Great.
I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gotten a pretty hot past few summers.
Oh,
This
Yeah.
one was
Yeah.
particularly
So hot.
brutal.
Yeah.
This one was really bad.
Mhm.
I mean, we're in the I work outside business,
Yeah.
and you're walking around and from one store to the next, I'm a big sweaty mess to begin with. But going from one store to the next was particularly sweaty this year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it
Moist.
started early, too.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went from we didn't have a transition. It was just all of a sudden nice to not
Yeah,
nice
to
anymore.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we, Florida, people take for granted we don't have that. We are 365 days a year on.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
have a break.
No.
And most places that have maybe more of a harsher winter have somewhat like a hibernation period where it's like, okay, let's take a step back. We're not doing too much. You are always on in Florida. And when even the summertime where you are still on, you're in and out of your car 10 times that day hitting accounts. You're sweating. You're getting cooled off. You're sweating. It's exhausting.
Or if you're a little gym, you're out here all day long. And these
Oh,
people,
yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Kudos to them because it's brutal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not bad when you're sitting there drinking,
Yeah.
but working, different story.
Totally different.
Donna, I really appreciate you coming on today and allow us to obviously set up here live at Little Jim's and do this podcast with you. It's
Oh,
good
no,
talking about
amazing.
Yeah, I mean your experiences, what you've done here with Little Jim's and Cobb's, and your experience in downtown, and fishing, pioneering the stuff with women's fishing and getting more women into that and accustomed to that. So kudos to you and all the stuff you've done in the
Thank
area.
you.
I mean, you are a pioneer in the area. And,
For sure.
Thank
sure.
you.
really appreciate everything you've done in downtown you are a great stakeholder in downtown and doing a great job leading by example.
Well, thank
So
you. I
thanks.
really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Did you hear that, City?
It just went like earmuffs. No, but that's a good point Emily brings up. I mean, private industry is what drives growth.
Absolutely.
And, as long as you have a supportive municipality behind you that somewhat kind of gets out of the way,
Right.
is all we're kind of asking a lot of times. We don't ask for much.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Just, let us do what we do and do the right thing, and we'll make lots of money for the city because, as you guys know, we are the foundation that brings people
Yeah.
here.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, thanks for joining us today. Coming to you live from Little Jim's in Fort Pierce. Great spot. If you haven't checked it out, come by car, come by boat, come by paddleboard, jet ski, whatever you want to do. It's a great spot. They're welcome to everybody. Bring your dogs, bring your kids. Come hang out.
And be prepared to be here for a
drink
while because it's a great time.
and drink a light tackle.
Yeah.
So, Donna, again, thanks again for having us today. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
And keep doing what you're doing. And we wish you all the luck with what the future of Little Jim's looks like, and really hope that you are able to do what you want to do here for the next 20, maybe 30 years.
Absolutely hope so.
Yeah, and we're here.
We're in your corner.
We're here to
Thank you.
support you. Anything you need. So,
We appreciate that.
guys, thanks for joining us today. Again, Florida's Drinking Report coming to you live from Little Jim's. Donna, our guest today, and thanks again.
Awesome.
Tune in next time. Thanks.
Killer.